Back in 2006, violence levels in Iraq were at their highest point since the beginning of the war in 2003. Iraq was being torn apart by sectarian violence, and news media around the world was saying that Iraq was in a state of civil war. In January of 2007, President Bush announced that he would be sending more troops to Iraq to secure the situation.
The 20,000 additional troops would make up 5 brigades, and most of them would be deployed to Baghdad, because over 80% of the attacks in Iraq were happening within 30 miles of the capital. The additional troops would soon become known as the Surge. But the Surge wasn't just more troops, it also involved changing the way we were fighting the war.
We also implemented the counterinsurgency doctrine and moved our forces into the villages and towns with our Iraqi security force partners. The main focus was to stem the violence and to secure the population.
Coalition forces changed their strategy and began to work closely with the Iraqi security forces and the Iraqi people. But another key to the success of the Surge was the awakening movement.
Sheikhs no longer wanted to assist al-Qaeda, and they wanted to start their life anew. And so that's a huge an obvious indicator that there's success in the efforts of our troops and our Marines throughout the combat zone.
Iraqis showed up in force at recruiting drives for what would become the Sons of Iraq, who served much like a neighborhood watch, securing their own villages. And with the combined efforts of the coalition forces, the Iraqi security forces, and the Sons of Iraq, attacks throughout Iraq were reduced by 70% by July of 2008, when the last Surge Brigade completed its tour of duty and returned home.
And because they achieved the conditions that we wanted them to achieve, the population secure, the Iraqi security force has increased their capacity and their capability, and the Iraqi people feel secure in their homes. Then that allowed us to end what is called the Surge, but to continue our campaign.
So the Surge is now officially over, and in order to maintain the success made by Surge forces with fewer American troops, top commanders in Iraq are saying that Iraqi security forces will play a key role in securing the country. And so far, Iraqi security forces have continued to meet the challenges.
What we've seen with the Iraqi army and the Iraqi security forces is a continuing growth and development. When the Prime Minister moved his forces down to Basra, it signaled several things that a year or two ago just simply weren't here. First of all, it signaled his resolve to solve the problems for his people. Secondly, it signaled that when he directed his army to go, and they went, that they now had the capability and the leadership to move within their country towards a problem area. And that was a big thing. It signaled to the people as they arrived that they weren't going to be allowed to misbehave.
And when the criminals and terrorists are kept at bay, it allows for Iraqis to go about their lives and do the simple things that allow for rehabilitation.
If you can flow the water, then you can grow the plants. If you can grow the produce, then you can fill the market. If the market's safe, the people will come to the market. If they exchange goods, the economy thrives. If the economy thrives, the town thrives. If the town thrives, education's there. If the education's there, so it sounds simple and basic, and in many ways it is. But if that chain is broken, then you can't get where you want to go.
In order for that chain not to be broken, Brigadier General Ferreter outlined 3 steps that coalition forces need to do.
Step 1 is keep the population secure. Step 2 is assist the Iraqi security forces. And step 3 is assist the government to install or reinstall those basics of services for life and support of their own population.
In the post-Surge era in Iraq, violence remains at the lowest level in 4 years. If you look about Baghdad, you'll see families in the parks, customers in the markets, and people living their lives with a sense of normalcy. Coalition forces will continue to support Iraqi security forces as they take the lead on maintaining and improving the security in Iraq. Petty Officer Aaron Hubner, Baghdad.